Hello, hello, hello everybody. Lori here from Unique in the Creek. Say hello when you come in. Today I am going to go and we're going to do the second part or the second piece of this double swag. Okay, so say hello when you come in. This is the kit. What number kit? What kit is it? Kit what? I can't even remember. Oh, kit 331. Kit 331. Now, Jackie Blewett's already done this kit for us. Hello, hello. I just want to show you another rendition on how you can do it with Wreathing on a budget. Okay? We're going to get started in a few minutes. Hi, Tina Felcomham. Hi, Denise. It is kind of an impromptu live. Yeah, freezing here in Niagara Falls, too. Not just Chicago. Oh, chilly Daytona Beach. Oh, that makes me feel better to know that Florida is cold, too. Yeah, I'm in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. And yeah, we had a snowstorm. It's finally stopped snowing, but we've had snow for over 24 hours. So we got quite a bit of snow that fell. Thank you, Tina. Okay, so if you had purchased this double Cardinal kit, everything I'm going to use is in this kit, and you can make two. That's why I'm making the second one. The only thing that's different, you get two different signs, okay? So this sign is just the cardinal in a basket. There's cardinals and poinsettias in a basket here, okay? I put it up here, and then we're gonna be using this sign today. Hi, Judes. Hello, everybody, thank you. Hello from Indiana. Now, why I wanted to show you guys this is really pretty, but you guys will not believe, look how big it is, okay? This is 36 inches long and 15 inches wide, okay? And believe it or not, and this is why I do this kind of wreathing on a budget, we used one rail board, again, 36 inches long, but there's the rail board. I haven't tucked in my pipe cleaners yet. So we used one rail board, okay? What I'm gonna do, again, Jackie has done a different version where the greenery is up at near the top middle. I made mine near the bottom. We're gonna be using 5 pieces. Let's pull the stuff out here. This is the gorgeous ribbons that we're going to be using. Okay, so we got a white and green eucalyptus, the same eucalyptus and white, but with 2.5 inch with cardinals on it. And then we got this really pretty wiry open weave to add a little more touch of red. Okay, now what I've done is I made a recipe for this in case you want to do yours like mine. 2 swags, we're only using a half a pack of mesh. Okay, stay with me. So we're only going to be using 10 pieces of mesh on this big swag. All right, we are only going to be using 6 pieces of this 1.5 inch ribbon at 13 inches. We're going to be using 6 pieces of the open weave ribbon at 14 inches. And I'll show you why I'm cutting it an inch bigger, the open weave. And then this cardinal ribbon, you're going to do 5 pieces. Let's cut it now. 5 pieces at 13 inches. So I'm going to pull up my Measure Buddy to the 13, lock it in. There we go. And I'm going to do 5 pieces at 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I already cut my 1.5 in open weave. Okay, I'm going to cut the ends. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of the cardinal ribbon, and then 1 piece of this at 20 inches. Okay, this 20-inch piece is going to go on the very last row, row J. So I'll show you. You could even probably cut it even longer. So I've cut all my, oh, I still need one for the bow. I've cut all my cardinal ribbon, but I used some up. Hold on 1 second. I have to check something. No, I thought I had another roll. Okay. I was playing around with some of this ribbon and I ended up throwing some in the garbage. But I think I threw it in the garbage upstairs. Anyways. And then we're going to be using 10 pieces of this red mesh. Okay. Now I did do the recipe. We're going to put a bow on row A. That's this top bow. And we'll make that, and I'll show you how to put it on. And then on row H, we're going to put the spray, this greenery spray, and another bow on row H. Now, what I wanted to show you is a lot of people, when you get a spray like this, so in this kit you get 2 of these sprays, and they're not cheap, okay? If your government stops messing around with tariffs, yeah, we could ship to the States again. Anyways, so you get 2 of these in your kit, okay? Now, most people, as you can see, we got the long stem, and we are going to open it up, and most people would use their greenery like this because the cardinal is sitting up right here, right? I'm going to open this up. But if you think outside the box, let's open up all this. Look at all this beautifulness. Get everything nice and open. We got some eucalyptus here, all kinds of greeneries. Okay, so I'm going to use my greenery going downwards. What you just need to do if you want to do something like this, we're just going to turn this cardinal, and there we go. It's such an easy thing, but a lot of people don't even think of that, and you're like, ah. So just turn whatever. You may have a jewel or something on there, I don't know, but you can use it either way. If you just turn the main subject, turn it around. So now we can use the greenery going downwards like I did right here. So Jackie used it going upwards. Okay, so just like out of the package, she used it upwards. And I turned the bird, and we're going to use it downwards. Okay, that's why there's 2 different ways we're showing you how to make this. Okay, mine's more on a budget. You know, we all know Jackie's a little more out there and frou-frou, and she puts all kinds of doodads and everything in there. I'm a little bit more basic. Basic's good. Okay, so that's our sign. So we are using, we're just going to put this to the side right now. We are using the rectangle board. Okay. Let's get our ribbons together here. And that's our long one. So I'm just going to dovetail my ribbons. So we'll just butt the end up, fold it on the bite, and we're going to cut from the folded edge to the outside corner. All right, so we've dovetailed our ribbons, and I'm just going to fold them in half. I like to prepare my ribbons and have them ready to be used. So this is the long one that I'm going to use on row J. I also want to show you guys how you can, so if you have 2 cardinal swags, but you don't have a double door, but you want to hang up both cardinal swags, I'm going to show you an easy way where you can use some ribbon and put the one swag on one side of your door and another swag on another side of your door by using ribbon as a hanger. So we'll do that at the end. All right, so there's our 5 pieces of 13-inch cardinal ribbon. This is 2.5 inch. And then our 1 piece at 20 inches. Okay, ribbons are ready. So I am not going to, I cut some of my pipe cleaners in half, and you'll see why. Again, everything on a budget. What you're going to do is we're going to be using row A. We're going to be using 10 pieces of mesh. We're going to go right on the top. You'll see an A. You're going to go down and back up the 2 middle holes on row A. I leave them open. And then you're going to put a half going down row C, and a half of a pipe cleaner going down row F. Okay? And then on the side, okay, we're going to go row B, down, back up, row C. Keep it open. I'm skipping a hole. And then we're going down row E and back up F. Okay, skip a hole, go down H and back up I. And then I'm going to take a half again. We're going to go down the middle of row J, the 2 center holes on J. And then we're going to go on the side again with I to H, so mimicking both sides. So whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other, okay? Shouldn't be using these scissors to cut pipe cleaners, but okay, so that is F and E, and then we're back up to the top again with B and C. So when you flip your rail over, or your rectangle over, I know pipe cleaners, only because that's what's in the kit. Okay, so when you flip it over, you'll see pipe cleaner, skip, pipe cleaner, skip, pipe cleaner. So you got 3 on each side, 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, and 2 in the middle. Okay? Hello, Margaret. All right, this is going to be pretty basic and simple, all right? We're going to start with row A. I got all my stuff ready to go. I will post the recipe for you to print out if you want on the replay of the YouTube channel. Hello, Felicia. Hi, everybody. Okay, your mesh. Your mesh, we're going to have it curl up. Again, it's pre-cut mesh, so it's not really a curl. But we're going to have our factory edge left and right in front of you in the square. I'm going to bring up the bottom edge about 1 inch. Just fold it. Again, I'm just making a nice edge so you don't see any fray or any strings in case when we put our mesh into the board. Again, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you'll see we're just going to make a ruffle with it, okay? And row A is also going to have a piece of the 2.5 inch ribbon, just 1 piece. So I'm just going to pinch it in the middle, bring the top in, bottom up, and flip it into a V shaped, just like that, okay? And with our mesh, I'm going to lift this little lip that we made up here, and I'm going to ruffle it or pinch it down the center of your piece of mesh. So you have this bow, right? We're going to flip that over. I'm going to take the center of my piece of mesh and I'm going to place it right. So one pipe cleaner. Now Jackie closes hers and everything. I'm showing you guys a little bit of a different way. I take and we're using a half a pipe cleaner. Put one pipe cleaner going upwards, one going downwards. We're going to place this right in the middle. And we're also going to put our ribbon right in the middle. I kind of push down and I'm going to come around the center. Push down and we're going to give it a nice tight twist. Okay? And then you can just push these down or you can cut them away. I just push them down. You can't see them. Okay? That is our first piece. That is row A at the top. Okay, now we're going to go to the side one. Again, I'm just putting one going up, one going down. We're going to take again a piece of mesh. I'm going to take another cardinal one. And you're going to be like, well, you just put a cardinal one in. You'll see why in a second. Okay, I'm going to flip this up. Again, I'm just making the edges of my ruffle nice and neat. Pinch it up the center. Flip it over. Again, when I'm pinching up the center, before I put it onto my board, I kind of flip it so it's like almost like a V-shaped piece of mesh. I'm going to put that in the middle of the two pipe cleaners, just like that. And again, another piece of ribbon. Our ribbon right in the center. And I'm going to come around, push down in the center. Okay, and then we're going to do this up nice and tight. And then once you have the pipe cleaner nice and tight, push it down. Make sure these are flipped towards the outside. That gives us our width. And the ribbon likes to stick to the mesh. There we go. Okay, go to the next one. The next one is going to be a piece of the 1.5 inch. And I got you guys to cut the open weave at 14 inches instead of 13 because I'm just going to fold the edge of this beautiful open weave. I'm going to fold it down twice instead of putting a V cut or anything in it. We're just going to fold the end in twice. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to fold it in half. I'm just going to put it right on top and pinch this and flip it upwards. So when you do it at 14 inches, by the time you fold in those two ends, your ribbon ends up being almost the same length as your 1.5 inch. And then again, I'm going to do my mesh, which I've already pre-done some. Again, put that right in the middle. You can put one up, one going down. We'll move this over. Put this in the center. And come around. It's a little tricky. Again, I'm trying to show you how to wreath on a budget. You can use full pipe cleaners, but you're going to cut literally most of it off if you're doing it like this, and it'll end up in the garbage. So even if it takes you a little bit more time, it saves on money and actually waste. Okay, and then we're just going to push that down. All right, we'll flip this back over. All right, we're going to the next one. We're on H and I. We're going to be using a cardinal. funny, Tina. Okay, piece of mesh. Make sure it's kind of V'd, so it's going towards the outside. Again, the center. One up, one going down. Ribbon. Now, if anybody follows me, you know I hate pipe cleaners. So if I was to put this kit together, I would have used zip ties, but Jackie put it together, so we got pipe cleaners, which is fine. I seen her using zip ties the other day, so. Okay. Make sure you give it a good twist. And then we're going to push this back down. All right. Now we're on row J. And like I said, row J, I'm going to put a longer piece. So I cut this piece at 20 inches. You can cut it even longer if you want. Don't cut it too long because you're going to run out of ribbon. But I'm making it longer because it's going to go a little bit longer and kind of peek out from behind our greenery. Okay. So again, same thing, piece of mesh. One going up, one going down. Everything likes to stick. Let me move all this out of the way. There, much better. Okay, in between, I'm putting my long piece. This means this is the bottom of my swag. Push down in the center, and then give it a nice tight twist. Again, you can fold the very last pleat just like you do with your zip ties, and then that mesh kind of flares out by itself. There we go. Nice and tight. See, half a pipe cleaner. If I used a whole one, almost the whole thing would be thrown in the garbage. So give it a try. If you struggle, I struggled, I must admit, I struggled with the first one, but this one is much better. Although I've never used half pipe cleaner, so to be fair, it was kind of new to me. But we're wreathing on a budget, my friends. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. We've got a cardinal. Our mesh. So you do get 40 pieces of mesh if you did get one of these kits. We're only using 10 pieces, 10 pieces of mesh per swag. So you will have a half a package of mesh still left over. And it's Christmas season and it's red mesh, so you're definitely going to be able to use the red mesh in another project. Hello from Low Bigs. Okay. Just take your time. This ribbon is really pretty, but it loves to stick. It's called a diagonal weave. Like the material is called a diagonal weave, and it likes to stick to mesh. Okay, so these are our center ones. The center ones, don't worry about right this second. Again, we're on E and F. Now that is going to be our piece of 1.5 inch and our 14-inch open weave. I folded the ends of my open weave, just folded them in. Because it's funny because when you do fold them in, they kind of give the appearance of berries. Believe it or not, it does. Okay, again, let's move this one over so it doesn't catch. Put your piece of mesh, our ribbon. Okay, and I push down and give it a tight twist. And fold it down. this one back over. So this open weave gives us a nice little extra pop of red. Okay, we're almost done the sides. We're going to use that last piece of Cardinal ribbon. So 5 at 13 inch. And then of course I did that 1 at 20 inches for the bottom. Hello from North Carolina. So like I'm reading everybody's cold everywhere. Where are you watching from, everybody? And is it cold where you're watching from? Please say yes. I feel much better. We're freezing here. We've had our first snowstorm already. I am in Niagara Falls, Canada. So we're used to the snow and the cold, but not this early. This is early. Okay, that is what we have so far. Okay, this is the bottom. Okay, now what I'm going to do, so we've used 8 pieces of mesh. We have these 2 pipe cleaners in the center. New York, North Carolina's freezing too. Yay! No, I'm just kidding. All right, I'm going to take a piece of mesh. Again, take your piece of mesh, fold it like we were doing. This time, this is just to cover pretty much the board, because we're going to add bow and sign and everything else. So it gets all filled up without using too much mesh. So I'm going to take this piece of mesh right on row C, and I'm going to kind of just put it, it's not quite centered. So this part up top here, that's going to go up here, is a little bit shorter than in the middle, but just like that, okay? So it's a little piece. The longer piece is in the middle. I want to give the middle a little bit of bulk there. And we're just going to close the pipe cleaner. That's all we're putting in this pipe cleaner. Okay? And then we're going to do the same thing with this pipe cleaner. I'm going to put this down into there. So we're just kind of covering right there. And again, I'm going to do the same thing where it's a little bit shorter down here. So we don't want to cover all this. And we're going to pipe cleaner just like that right in the center. I know it looks funny right now. Trust the process. Okay, there we go. So yes, the middle looks kind of a wackadoo. No worries. That's what we got so far. Okay. All right, so now we have these 4 ribbon, 1.5 ribbon tails and 4 pieces of the open weave ribbon. What you're going to do is, again, take a half a piece of pipe cleaner. Now, once you're made a swag, you can be sticking all kinds of greenery throughout your thing, like gluing it in and all kinds of stuff. This is just the basic, okay? You can add much more stuff if you want. What I'm going to do is right in this corner, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go move our mesh. I'm just going to put half a pipe cleaner just down that hole. So I'm going to use the 2 neighboring pieces of mesh. Okay, so there's 2 pieces of mesh beside each other to hold up this ribbon set right here. Okay, So we'll pinch that in the middle, flip it upwards. Now I'm just putting ribbon in. So 1/2 up, 1/2 down. Just put it right in there and come around the middle and do it up. Oh, the kitten's watching, yay! Okay, I am going to cut a little bit of the pipe cleaner off because even the 1/2 is a little long. Okay, so now that piece that we just put on that little bitty corner is sitting on the 2 pieces of mesh that are crossed over on each other. And that is why we don't have to use a ton of mesh. Now you can put more in if you want. I'm just giving you guys options for wreathing on a budget. Okay, we're going to do the same thing in the other corner. So I'm going to move that one out, down that corner, and just come up. Okay, so these 2 pieces, you can see that they're overlapped, so we really don't need a piece of a mesh there. Okay, I'm just going to place that on, and we're going to twist the ribbon in with the pipe cleaner. Does she love Auntie Lori, Lynn? Does she love watching Auntie Lori on the big screen? All right, there we go. So that just gave us now more ribbon tails, but we didn't have to use more mesh. This really sticks to the mesh, this ribbon. All right, we're going to do the bottom too. So you can see how that looks really pretty right there. I gotta make Mexican rice for cards tonight. Anybody got a good Mexican rice recipe? Tonight at cards is Mexican night. Everybody's bringing a Mexican dish, and I'm bringing the Mexican rice. Okay. Now again, you can do your base like Jackie did and do your ribbons like me if you want. If you want more mesh. I know Jackie used a little bit more mesh than I'm using. But you can see how versatile the boards are. Okay, last one. Okay. So I'm kind of just putting it in the corner here, and then we'll overlap, and then we put our ribbon in. Penny, are you giving me a recipe? Thank you so much. I was just going to go buy a package of Mexican rice from the grocery store and make it, but there's so much snow out there. Okay, our base is done. Bring this back down. Okay, and you can see it's going to very much mimic here. Now, it looks like there's a ton of ribbon because now we're going to make a bow. We got 2 bows going on. We got one at the top, then our sign, one at the bottom, right on top of our spray. So let's get our bows made. I have made one already, so you guys, both bows are exact. Okay, again, this is the top. Okay, because the long piece of ribbon is at the bottom. All right, and for our bows, we're going to do one in row A, so up here, and then the second bow is going to be on row H along with the spray. Okay? So I'm just going to put this to the side. I'm going to get my bow maker. The bow is very simple, straightforward. Okay, so I'm going to come in with, because I want my cardinal ribbon to be seen in my bow. Okay, so I'm starting with the 1.5 inch. All you're going to do is we're going to do 5-inch loops, one 5-inch loop on each side. So take your ribbon, I'm going to pinch it. So the center is about 5 inch. There's the 5-inch. Give it a half twist and go down. Okay. I'm going to get a pipe cleaner ready to go. I'm going to use a full pipe cleaner. Okay, and then when you do that half twist, that brings up the wrong side of our ribbon. So we can come over. We're going to go down, so the bottom, where the bottom wire is, I go down into my bow maker. I make sure my loop is 5 inches just by putting your finger in, and okay, and now it's 5 inches, so I'm going to give it a half twist and push down. So that brings up that bad side again. And then we're going to come over again with this bottom edge going down. Check your loop, 5 inches. And you don't have to, I'm only doing one loop on each side. If you were doing multiple loops, you would just keep going and doing that half twist. Since I'm only doing one loop on each side, we don't have to do a half twist. We just want to finish with the good side up. And I'm going to cut it at a 5-inch. Okay, and I'm kind of making an X. So bow, bow, tail, tail. Okay, we're going to do the same thing now with our cardinal ribbon, if I had enough left. I don't have enough left, so I'm just going to do, you guys will have enough left. I was playing and I ended up mistakenly throwing out some of the ribbon. I'm just going to do a single loop. Actually, maybe I'll put more because I'm going to do a couple more loops of this just because I ran out of the cardinal. Again, you guys won't run out of the cardinal. I ran out because I was playing. So I'm just doing another one with this. And I might just do, this is called improvising. I'm just going to do 2 tails. So I've got 1 tail. So I'm just going to do a tail right here and right here. You would do yours exactly the same as we did the 1.5. You would do 2.5 the same. Okay, a loop, a tail, a loop, a tail. Then I'm going to come in with our open weave. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, right there. And I'm going to put a few extra loops of this open weave to give it some more red. Again, I'm going to put my edges of this open weave, I'm just going to fold them in. And they kind of look like a ball at the end of the ribbon thing. So that's why I said it kind of looks like a little bit of mimicking berries. Okay, you still want to do a half twist with this ribbon because it is fully wired. In one side, you can see the wire more than the other. Okay, we got lots of this left, so we can put some red in there. Okay, we're gonna loops, so 5 inches. You put as many loops as you want. I'm just going to put maybe 3 to give this bow a little bit more red. Oh, we're coming to the end. Okay, one more loop on this side. Okay, I'm going to cut this off, and we're going to just fold this end in just a little bit again. Okay, and I'm just going to pull this whole thing right off the bow maker. Keep it nice and stacked. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner, put it right in the center, pull nice and tight, keep your bow stacked, and we're going to twist. I'm going to dovetail the ends. Now, if you have other ribbons, you can most definitely add more ribbon, but like I said, I'm just keeping this very basic. All right, and now I'm going to go down. I'll flip it over so you can see. This is the top right on A. I'm going to go with my 2 pipe cleaners, the ends right over top. But I'm going to go through the mesh. So just take your pipe cleaner and you can poke it through the mesh. And then down hole A. If you slide it off the table, it goes through the hole much easier than hitting the table. Now you can use this pipe cleaner. Okay, there we go. You can use this pipe cleaner we just put in. You can actually give it a good twist or even tie it. And then what you can do is if you want to use it for a hanger, you can tie the top and make a hanger out of it. So it's a dual purpose pipe cleaner. Now I'm going to show you at the end how you can make a hanger for your door if you want to hang your wreath or your swag on both sides of the door. There we go. I'm just knotting it. Okay, so now we have a hanger. I hanger for our swag. So the bow still looks really good, even though I didn't use as much Cardinal ribbon as I did on, where's the other one? On this one. Okay, this one's going to be the bottom. This bottom one is going to go on row H. However, we're going to put our greenery in there on row H. Okay, so I'm going to take a pipe cleaner, and you can kind of lift it up and you can see the letter H. I'm going to go down. I'm going to put a pipe cleaner in row H, and I'm going to go right through the mesh. There's one side. There's the other side. So I just kind of went right through the mesh. Okay, we're just going to tighten that and give it a full twist, just like that. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of hot glue, so I'm going to make sure my hot glue gun is on. Fix those. Okay, it is on. Oops, and I dropped everything. Okay, so now we're going to take our greenery. Again, remember I turned the Cardinal around. The Cardinal's on a wire, but it's not on the greatest, so I like to put some hot glue kind of on the bottom and just make a little blob there, just to make sure the Cardinal's not going to fall off. Okay, and then I'm going to take this spray. Okay, I opened it up, pulls out the greeneries, make sure everything's seen because it's quite full, this spray. Pull our eucalyptus up there, make sure our pine cones. Okay, and I'm going to kind of hook this, and I'm going to cut some of that wire off, just so I don't have excess. Okay, and I'm going to kind of make a little, keep pushing, and I'm making like a hook, right? See how I made a hook there? I don't know if you guys can see it, just like that. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take this pipe cleaner, bring my little hook through it, make sure it's up high enough. There we go. And I'm going to pipe cleaner it right in. Good couple twists. All right, and now I'm going to hit that with a little bit of hot glue. So it's pipe cleanered in, and it's also going to be hot glued in. So I'm just going to go right over top of our pipe cleaner with some hot glue. So it's in there. All right, I'm going to give that a chance to dry, because we're going to do our other bow is going to go right there. While that's drying, I'm going to dovetail the ends of this bow. So it's the same bow, well, sort of. I had more ribbon, you can see. So I just did one loop on each side and one tail with the Cardinal ribbon. Oh, I don't worry about directional ribbon, and neither will your customer, I promise. You can fool around and make it directional, make the cardinals not upside down, but I don't have time for that, so. All right, and then we're gonna open these. Right, and then we'll fluff it all out once we get it on. Okay, the sign. Now the sign, you can, there's a string. Okay, this sign is very lightweight. It's only a 5x7 sign. It's small, it's just tin. Honestly, my friends, I just glued mine on. I just hot glued it right onto the mesh. You can pipe cleaner it into your, you know, shorten the twine by just, you know, making a knot and shorten it, and then pipe cleaner it in. Actually, maybe I'll just do that. I'll give it a little bit of a pipe cleaner here, but I'm still going to glue. So that pipe cleaner that I used on row C, I'll just pipe cleaner it in, but then I'm going to glue it right on the mesh. So one sign goes this way and the other sign is going longwise. So I'm going to push it up and it's going to be tucked kind of just under. Make sure all your ribbon tails are not stuck under your sign. And we're just going to tuck it in just kind of below your bow. And I'm just going to go under with some hot glue. I don't want that twine being shown though. There we go. Okay. Some under here. Wherever it's touching, I'm just kind of squirting under. And then we'll just hold it. Glue all over the place. Oh. I wish this ribbon would stop sticking to the mesh. Okay, this one I'm going to, I have to, there we go. Just want to make sure it matches the other side. Okay. And then we'll bring down some of our loops and fluff out our bow. So the red open weave is really loopy, if that's a word. It's kind of just sitting right over top of our sign, but you can still see the sign. Perfect. All right. Done with our glue. All right, I'm going to cut, this is all dry now. I'm just going to cut this rest of this off. And we're going to go down right over top of those 2 holes that we just used for our spray. We're just going to go down with our second bow. Okay, so take your pipe cleaner and we're going to go through exactly where it was. So I'm going through the mesh. I need glasses to when I do this stuff. Okay, there's one. I'm gonna stand up so I can see. It's bending, sorry guys. Trying to push it through the mesh. Stop bending. There we go. So through the mesh and then down through the hole. Okay, we're going to pull straight down. Okay, pull it tight from behind and give it a twist in behind. Pull it as tight as you can because it's just hitting the spray. And then we're going to fluff up our bow again. This one. And that is how we did a 36-inch spray with 10 pieces of mesh and 6 pieces of each of the ribbon. Okay, so we're going to fluff this out. Open the loops and put your tails wherever. We don't want to cover up like the pretty pine cones. Put the cardinal right in the center. We'll put this tail here. Oh, I didn't fold these in. Okay, this tail there loops up. Fluff your bow and put your loops where they're supposed to go. And there we go. That is another rendition of the double cardinal. So you can see the other tutorial Jackie did is on our YouTube channel. You'll find it under Wreath Kits. She did hers with the greenery going upwards, which is absolutely stunning, and she tucked in the sign into her greenery. I just did it the other way. I'll give you guys some. There we go. Can you believe we used five pieces of the cardinal ribbon at 13 inches. 1 cardinal ribbon. Oh, we want to make sure we can show it. So that's coming out the bottom. So it's just peeking out the bottom here. Show the greenery. This pick is quite full, and they're not cheap either. Ribbons are out. Go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so 6 of the eucalyptus 1.5, 6 of the open weave at 14 inches because I folded them in a bit. And if you kind of round them, they'll look like berries. 10 pieces of mesh. We did a bow and put it on row A and used that bow pipe cleaner for a hanger. And we did the spray and the bottom bow on row H. And that's what we got. Isn't it pretty? Can you believe how little we used? And it's very full. So we'll clean up the back. So this, I just use a hanger. This one, let's cut it down. Make sure everything's nice and neat. Okay, you can come from the back and make sure all your tails are where they're supposed to be. Okay, so there's the back. A, C, F, H, and then we did mesh, 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 and that's where our 10 pieces of mesh come from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our ribbons. And like I said earlier, you can then, if you want to add more, you can add, if you have greenery at home, or snowflakes, or even more berries, whatever, you can just tuck them in and glue them. So just refer to some of Jackie's videos. She does it really well. You just hot glue it all in, but I think it looks really pretty, just like this. So we got both. And then I want to show you just a little something. Let me clean this up. Before I leave, I want to show you what I did, or what I want to do. So if you have 2 of your swags, okay, 2 of your swags, almost exactly the same, but you want to hang one up on one side of your door and the other on the other side of your door, here's a little trick. You can make your own hanger. So I'm just going to use this ribbon because I still have lots left. We're going to take, now I measured it, I need 40 inches of ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to cut a piece of ribbon 40 inches long. Okay, so there's 20, and okay, that's 40. Okay, now what you're going to do is take, if you have a zip tie, the best way is to do the zip ties. Again, this is just if you want to hang, and you can do this for any wreath, especially if it's a Unique and Creek one, it works really well. We're going to flip this over. I know I just flipped the bow, but I'm going to take a zip tie, and on row A, if I can get down there, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to push it back up. I'm just trying to get the zip tie. It's full of pipe cleaner right now. There we go. Okay, I'm going to push this back up, and we're going to do it up till you hear the clicking, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to, you guys will see a finished picture. I'll show a finished picture at the end, like after. Now if you're going to do it this way, you don't need this hanger. You can cut your pipe cleaners off. But I'll show a picture when we're finished. Okay. We have a nice, neat back. Okay, I'm going to take the end of my ribbon here. I'm going to put a zip tie just at the end and do it up tight. Okay, I'll cut that off. I'm going to do the same thing at the other end. This is going to be like a stopper. I'm going to put this end into the zip tie and do it up. Make sure your ribbon, the back of your ribbon, big piece of ribbon, is facing forward. Actually, yeah, it does kind of matter because you'll see it on your door. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Cut these off. Now what you can do is this piece of ribbon is going to go over top of your door so that you have, it's hard to explain, just like this. So one side of your door will have one wreath. This is going over top of your door, and your other swag is on the other side of your door. Does that make sense? So you have matching, and you can have them the same length, so they're back to back. Does that make sense? So that's how you can do both wreaths on your door. Have one on one side and one on the other side. Like I said, I'll take a picture of what I'm talking about, but I'm sure you can picture what I'm talking about. Yeah, there we go. So we still have half a package of mesh left over. I only used 20 pieces on both. And not much ribbon left. I might as well use this little piece that's left over. I'll tuck it in somewhere. Don't want to throw it out. I got a little tiny piece. Got a little bit of the eucalyptus left. But anyways, that's it. That's all I wanted to show you guys. A different way to make a swag inexpensively, wreathing on a budget, for your doors. Perfect if you have double front doors. You can hang one on each. The only difference is the two signs. Or you can make a big long ribbon like I did and have them one on one side of your door and the other on the other. All right? This I'll just glue in somewhere. Maybe I'll tuck it into the greenery. Anyways, that's all I wanted to show you guys. Thank you for watching. I know it was quite impromptu. I really didn't even give notice, but I will be editing this video for tutorial purposes. So you guys don't have to sit here and watch me, you know, listen to me go on and on. But yeah, so you got this one, or you can do it the way Jackie did it. All right? Thank you guys, everybody, for watching. I gotta go learn how to make Spanish rice or Mexican rice for cards. Anyways, I can't wait to see what you guys make. And again, thanks for your support, everybody.